When a company deploys AI agents for customer support, sales, or internal workflows, one question becomes more important than the agent itself. How well are they actually performing? An AI agent can handle thousands of users every day, all day and night, but without the right visibility, you may not know if those interactions help or create friction. Today, we'll explore how to manage and understand your agents in Salesforce CRM using Agentforce Observability so you can monitor performance, review conversations, and improve outcomes. Let's get started. Well, imagine a company called Pronto, and they recently launched an AI agent for their entire customer base. So every day, customers open chats, ask questions, and receive responses from that agent. And the system handles thousands of sessions across different channels. At that point, a new responsibility appears for the team. They must measure whether the agent supports their deployment goals. And this is where Agentforce Observability becomes useful. First, we start with something called Agent Analytics. Inside the dashboard, you begin to see how your entire fleet of agents performs. Instead of guessing about outcomes, you now see session metrics that show how conversations end. For example, you can check whether the agent solved a problem, escalated a request, or left a conversation unresolved. And the platform already provides many of these metrics out of the box, but you also have the option to customize them. So if your organization measures success in a specific way, you can track those indicators directly. Then we move into agent effectiveness. This area gives a broader view of how people interact with your agents. You can observe how often users rely on the agent, what topics appear most frequently, and how those sessions evolve over time. And alongside that, the quality score helps you detect which agents may require adjustments. When engagement handling scores fall below expectations, the system highlights those areas, so your team knows where to begin the improvement process. Now, here is where the platform becomes more practical for builders and administrators, because high-level metrics tell you direction, but they do not always explain the cause behind the numbers. So inside the Insights view, you can explore actual conversation data, and this helps you identify patterns that may affect performance. For example, you might discover that a certain topic receives many requests, but produces weaker outcomes. Then you can open that topic and review how the agent handles it. And this leads us into sessions and intents. Sessions and intents allow you to examine conversations with much deeper context. These are not simple chat transcripts. Instead, the platform organizes each conversation around detected intents. Each intent receives its own score, which tells you how well the agent addressed that part of the request. Some sessions appear fully processed with scoring and intent analysis, others remain unprocessed while the system continues to evaluate them. When you open a session, you see the entire conversation between the customer and the agent, and this view becomes even more useful when you select a specific response from the agent, because the system reveals the reasoning behind that reply. In other words, you can inspect the path the AI agent followed before generating that answer. This level of transparency removes much of the mystery from AI interactions, and it allows your team to troubleshoot behavior immediately instead of guessing why a response appeared. If your agents also handle voice calls, there is another helpful option. You can replay the recorded conversation directly inside the session view, so you hear exactly how the interaction unfolded, and that additional context often reveals details that text alone might miss. All of this helps teams refine the agent design inside the builder. Once you identify a weak topic or an inaccurate response pattern, you know precisely which configuration needs adjustment, and that makes the improvement cycle faster and more focused. However, there is another layer to consider. Observability tools help you analyze past sessions, but many teams also want to detect issues while conversations are still happening. And this is where agent health monitoring enters the picture. With health monitoring, you can define alerts based on important operational metrics. For instance, you might track response latency, session completion rates, or escalation spikes. When the system detects unusual behavior, it sends alerts so your team can react quickly. Then you gain a near real-time view of your deployed agents across different channels and environments. So the overall idea behind Agentforce Observability is simple. Instead of operating your AI agents in the dark, you gain a structured system that collects insights, evaluates conversations, and tracks operational health. And through those insights, your team can continuously refine how agents interact with users. That was all. Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe for more.